Ford Focus has evolved, this improved version of the Mark IV model offering slicker looks, a much improved Sync 4 infotainment system and extra technology. There's also impressive efficiency beneath the bonnet thanks to 48-volt mild hybrid engine tech. The best part though is that you should still find this car to be as rewarding to drive as it's always been. The Focus might have grown up, but it certainly hasn't lost its spark.
Very little has really changed in terms of handling or engine choice with this facelifted Mark IV Focus, but that's because Ford had already introduced engineering updates to this car as recently as 2020. These were mainly based around the introduction of 48-volt mild hybrid tech for the brand's core 1-litre EcoBoost petrol engine, though you could still have the base 125 PS version of that unit without it. Most Focus customers, though, will want a mild hybrid model, choosing between a base 125 PS version offered only with the company's latest 7-speed PowerShift dual-clutch auto gearbox, or the 155 PS 1-litre MHEV variant we're trying here, which can be had with either manual or automatic transmission. The only other mainstream Focus engine on offer is the brand's ageing 1.5-litre EcoBlue diesel, available only with 120 PS and only with an 8-speed torque converter auto gearbox. Whichever mainstream Focus model you decide upon, you should find on the test drive that this Ford still holds a decisive advantage over most of its segment rivals when it comes to the driving position, the feedback through the wheel, and in particular, the way the car responds as you throw it into a corner. And you can tailor the way it responds thanks to the brand's standard drive mode system. This borrows the kind of technology we've long seen on premium badged models in this segment, using normal, sport and eco settings to alter steering feel, throttle response, and on auto variants, gear shift timings to suit the way you want to drive. It can alter ride quality too if adaptive damping has been fitted, but you can only have that, Ford calls it continuously controlled damping, on the top ST hot hatch model, that later variant topping out the range with a potent 2.3-litre EcoBoost petrol unit putting out 280 PS. In a mainstream model like the one we're trying here, you'll be wanting to know about running cost efficiency. Well, the figures are certainly competitive. This typical 1-litre EcoBoost, 155 PS MHEV manual hatch model, managing up to 54.3 mpg on the combined cycle, and up to 116 grams per kilometre of CO2. Back in 2018, we wondered whether Ford ought to have been a touch more adventurous with the look of this fourth-generation Focus, and you could say the same about the Blue Oval brand's approach to this mid-term facelift. Subtle evolution, though, never did this model's Volkswagen Golf arch-rival any harm, and you could certainly argue that this car has now moved closer to its chief competitor in terms of visual sophistication, both in hatch and estate form. Key to this will be front-end overtaking presence, and sure enough, most of the aesthetic changes here are concentrated at the pointy end. The nose is higher, the bonnet's sleeker, and the grille is larger, now the home of the brand badge. And flanking this appendage are redesigned LED headlights that include integrated fog lamp functionality and a more distinctive nighttime signature. As before, the front-end look differs significantly with trim choice, with bespoke fog lamp design and different grille styling. Chromed horizontal grille bars for the volume titanium models, vertical grille strakes for the active versions, and a honeycombed finish for the ST line variants like this one. At the rear, the main change is the adoption of these revised two-piece tail lamps, which get smoked lenses and which, above entry-level trim, feature full LED illumination and an internal design with a darker central section and an eye-catching loop light pattern. So, time to take a look inside. Here at the wheel, what was required to match the prevailing segment standard was a big step up in cabin quality. What we've actually got is a big step up in cabin technology, which on most models brings you this class-leadingly large 14.2-inch Sync 4 centre touchscreen. Everything you need is here, complete with crystal clear graphics, over-the-air updates and easy functionality, plus connected navigation and natural language Ford Assistant speech recognition, which works with the built-in Ford Pass Connect media system. Upper spec models like this one pair this landscape monitor with the virtual dials of this 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster, which gives the front of the cabin a much-needed, more sophisticated feel. Interior quality still isn't quite a match for the class best, but compensation comes in the form of important standard features that you might well have to pay extra for on the more affordable versions of rival cars in this segment. Things like driver's seat lumbar adjustment and a quick clear heated windscreen for frosty mornings. Plus, as you'd expect from a Focus, all the cabin basics have been well executed, so it's easy to find a comfortable driving position. The instruments are clear and there's plenty of interior storage. We'll finish with a look at the boot, which offers up to 358 litres of capacity in this hatch model, or up to 1,320 litres if you fold the rear bench. For the alternative estate, the respective figures are 593 and 1,620 litres. That estate model's luggage area now includes easier to clean carpet, better lighting, an area for wet items, and a vertical floor divider that locks into place at a 90-degree angle. Right, let's take a seat in the rear. The space on offer here can certainly be bettered by quite a number of class rivals, but it is at least now competitive, certainly to a rival Volkswagen Golf, helped by the decent foot space provided beneath the front seats. We also approve of this low centre transmission tunnel, though a centre-seated adult will still be as relatively uncomfortable on longer trips as they would normally be in such a position in a car of this class. Now, this fourth generation Focus has proved to be the only one designed to date with a relatively class competitive level of cargo capacity, though by segment standards it still isn't anything to write home about. Load to seat back height in this hatch model and you get 358 litres. To give you some class perspective, it's 381 litres in a Volkswagen Golf. The estate model's adjustable load floor now has a central hinge, allowing it to be folded to create a vertical divider that locks into place at a 90-degree angle. Once upon a time, the Focus was the backbone of Ford's European sales, shifting over 500,000 cars across the continent every year. But that was more than a decade ago. Today, its segment influence is shrinking, but we'd still argue that in our market over the last 20 years, this model line has had a greater impact on modern family motoring than any other. Even today, it's still the default choice for a family hatchback customer, prioritising driving enjoyment above all else. In short, if you can afford the asking price, you'll find that here's a family hatchback that now has more of its priorities right. A car that's grown up, but one that still knows how to enjoy itself. The Focus was the first family hatch to set the standard in that regard, and the good news here is that it still does.